welcome to Wicked Game. How are you all? How are you doing? My name's Lydia, and today I'm going to read to you. I'm going to read to you. I'm going to read to Niky. We are playing the game that I made a little while ago, the romance game that is called The Palace Season, which is set in my homebrew world that we use for D&D, and using some of the lore. And it's Niky's turn now to find himself a spouse.
Yeah, it's me. It me.
We've been taking bets all day as to what's going to happen, and who knows? Michelle married, and then had that little kind of afterwards going, oh, I'm just thinking about that other person. Tom did a classic dither and waited to be proposed to by somebody who didn't propose, and therefore spent the rest of his life alone because it's wedding season or nothing in this game. And we'll see what happens tonight. In regular announcement notes, we're taking a brief little break from our regular D&D game to do some other stuff in this festive season. And next week it's going to be Niky and Michelle team up to play game.
Anne Game.
To game.
Hi, my name's Anne Game.
And with what?
What's really fun is, by the way, the camera, the thing, the views are switched to them, so when we talk to each other, we look off screen.
It looks like I'm actually turning my back to you, which I'm not.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm going to have to do that, which is then very odd in real life.
Yeah.
In real life. Right.
I'm wearing pink, which is the colour of love, and my hat has a rose on it. Don't read the text, but this is all romance.
I'm wearing red because death.
That's not red, Lydia.
Yes, it is.
That's fucking coral if I ever saw it.
Guys.
Lydia, that's not red. It looks fucking orange on stream as well.
This is red. This is pillar box red right here.
So this is a little pinker than it looks. It's a very light pink. But this is... Fuck off. Did you say pillar box?
Pillar box red.
What colour do you think your lips are, Lydia?
Red.
You think they're the same colour?
They're a different shade of the same colour. This is not coral. Coral has pink in it.
Oh, it's not pillar box red, Lydia.
That is...
Oh, it's... Michelle, you saw her.
It's a bit faded over time, maybe.
Fuck off, pillar.
Fuck off, pillars.
Pillar box, absolutely.
Pillars could get to fuck.
Let me find some...
Is there no colourblind? How dare!
This looks orange as well. Doesn't help.
That's bright red. I'm sorry, I rest my case.
It's not orangey. No, this is bright red. Why is our camera so faded? I'm looking at you in meat space and they're not the same colour.
I'm right. Okay. Without further do's...
I've only just found out from Lydia being colourblind how faded our fucking camera is. I need to sort that out.
Tonight, on this special night, Niky will be taking notes for the first time ever. But first off, we have to make a character.
Right. So, it's going to be...
Do you want to wait and see what you are? Nope.
They're called... What are they called? No, I'm joking. I was just going to try and conjure some bullshit, but it's not there. Let's roll the dice.
Often it does come, but let's give you a look. Yeah. Right. Here's the thing. You're going to roll a D100, and because of the way that we do things, nothing is set in stone. If you're not keen, then that's fine. What did you roll?
36.
Right. Your first option is a gnome.
A gnome.
Second option.
83.
Now roll a D4. Sorry, you asked in advance what dice you needed, and I did not say a D4. But in this instance, you do need a D4.
Starting off with lies and deception. 4.
Water genasi.
Wet boy.
Third and final option.
53.
Human.
human. Middle of the road for a middle of the road dice roll. I think I'm going to be a water genasi.
Nice. Gender is and sexual preferences are absolutely up to you.
You could say they're fluid.
Could say fluid.
Because
Wet.
Because gender is a fluid spectrum.
Now,
Gender's like one of those plasma balls you get in science museums, and when you put your finger to it, you sort of pick one in that moment. Sorry, I just realised you couldn't see chat. I fixed it.
Now that we have that, you need to think about the fact that you've come with your mother to the capital to get wed.
Get wet.
Get wed.
It's a nice day for a wet wedding.
Now,
Lydia, how are you leaning off camera? This is the biggest fucking frame you've ever had. I'm within. I can hit you. I'm not going to, but I could.
we need to think about personality now.
You shuffled the wrong way. Away from me. Away. There you go. Perfect. Right.
You want to think about this person, this water genasi, and we need to take the following components and rate them, like rank them for the character.
Right, I'm with you.
And these elements are beauty, coordination, wit, social standing, and family money. So, for example, if you're like rich but not noble born, real handsome, bit clumsy, hilarious, then you'll know how to rank them. Or if you're a penniless noble, you know how to rank it.
So let's do this because I think this is fun. Do I need to write this down? Is this like a stat thing?
It will be, but I'll have it on.
Can you say them to me again?
Yes.
I think I've got some semblance of order.
Okay. Beauty.
Right.
Coordination.
Okay.
Wit.
Yeah.
Social standing.
Yeah.
Family money.
Sick. And I have a question for you.
Okay.
So this is where I'm leaning. Mm-hmm. Family money.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking coordination, beauty, wit, social standing.
Beauty,
but
wit, social standing.
I have a question because that reads in my head a certain way, and I want to make sure that you're on board with it.
All right.
That reads as new money, hence the diametrically opposed family money and social standing.
Yeah.
Which is I didn't want family money to read like assets.
Real
they've
new
got
money.
lots of money, but it's not very liquid at the moment. Yeah. These guys are pretty. That was fresh. That wasn't. This has not all been leading up to that. I wanted a new money, like middle kind of beauty. So they're not like trained in this stuff, but they're a good dancer.
Yeah.
They've got decent coordination.
Yeah. Not overly funny.
Not overly funny, which is going to be hard, guys. It's my biggest role-playing challenge today. So this is where I'm at, right? Do you want backstory? Is there stuff to roll for that, or can I?
No, there's nothing else to roll. Everything else is just flavor, baby.
Cool. So, my grandparents,
right?
Post-war, is this? Are we dating this?
As you wish.
Post-war.
Yeah.
Chat, stop, because you're actually sort of reading my mind a little bit. So my grandparents post-war bought smaller warships, like smaller like boats used for like naval effort.
Okay.
At a reduced rate because they were damaged.
Right.
Then they turned them into like run-of-the-mill shipping vessels. Like they like hodgepodge them into shipping things.
Yeah.
And then they had like a fleet of like between like 5 and 10 boats.
To be like merchanty type stuff.
To be merchanty type stuff.
Right.
However,
yeah.
When grandparents died, my father sold all the merchant licensing, and then basically gambled the family's fortune on recovering artifacts and wealth from the sea.
Yeah.
And he got really fucking lucky. But like we were on like pre this person's birth.
Yeah.
Like we were like really dicey, sort of like on the cusp of dropping out of the lower middle classes.
Yeah.
But like he basically gambled everything on a few tips he got from a sailor's tavern.
Yeah.
And it worked. And now we're like filthy stinking rich.
Yeah.
No, like this is and his parents hung out with sailors in order to get this information. So like wit is not there. But he's been on a boat. Mm-hmm. You know, he spent a lot of his life on like boats and stuff. Mm-hmm. In fact, at one point they lost their home and had to live on one of the boats because they were gambling all that money on. But they found like some major artifact or some treasure, and they are now like filthy like money rich.
Yeah.
And then almost immediately this person's parents sold the business and sold the boats.
So they're now there's nothing for you to inherit.
Well, there's potentially something for them to inherit, but this carries far more weight than like your average like old money person going into a season, because they sort of need to marry into a family business because there's no family business. Okay, that is good to know. That is good. That's interesting, guys. That's interesting. So yeah, they've got cash now.
Yes.
They've got cash now. They are very coordinated from being on a boat, and then like all the training that like getting wealth. Mm-hmm. Getting wealth gets you, and then attractive because they're going for a season. But yeah, they're not been around that much reserved like high society, but they've been to like lessons.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's why it's not. But then social standing is their family have not gone into lessons.
Yeah.
And done all that, and they do that really classic thing. This person's family has big, in Les Mis, the master of the house, that couple. Who are like, they own an inn. But imagine if those guys made away like bandits and had a ton of money. And it's like, weird story, but when my mum first met her most recent mother-in-law, she walked in with my mum doesn't wear shoes. Now you know where I get the shorts thing from. They don't wear shoes. My mum doesn't wear shoes, so she walked in with no shoes on, sat on the chair, and then she walked into their good living room with a white carpet, and then put her feet up on the table. Like it's a no airs and grace. Like they've got no like money makes their life easy, and they've not lived a good. But whereas her mother-in-law at the time, they had a bit of money, so like it was like a
right. What is this person's name?
I only have a first name at the moment.
Okay.
It's Opia, but it's Opia.
Opia. Ophia.
Opia.
So no H, but this H is
no Opia.
Yeah.
No, there's no H. Because it's that or Opia, and I don't want to pronounce it Opia, so it's Opia.
Ophia.
I need I think they need like a pretty like for anyone who doesn't know, Opia is a word meaning intense and ambiguous eye contact that could either be threatening or romantic.
That's a vibe.
It is a vibe, right? Just to let you know how I'm respecting the romance, I'm wearing jeans, I'm wearing long trousers.
He's covered his shameful
It's the first time
pins.
I've streamed in trousers in a long time. They need like a
Michelle, is that the second name?
bucket. No. Bouquet. Hyacinth bouquet. Opia. Oh yeah, what's someone who makes rope called? There's a special name. someone's going to say, and it's gonna bug me. What's someone who make rope called?
Google.
Go on, someone. No, I don't need Google. I've got chat. Fucking, what are they called? It's like farrier, but it's not. 50 foot. My middle name is 50 foot.
I don't know, man. It just says rope maker.
I think it's roper. Opia roper.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Roper. Because long ago, their family were people who made rope, which is why they were like lived near the docks and
special sea genasi rope as well. That would be like really good waterproof.
They're not sea genasi.
Water genasi.
Yeah. Sea. I don't know why you think sea genasi. Maybe immediately think Triton. Opia roper.
Okay, Opia roper.
I think we're going Hide.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, so it's do I need to write down my rankings?
So the ranking thing goes like this. Your social standing is -1. Wit then gives you a bonus of 0. Beauty is a bonus of 1. Coordination bonus of 2. Money bonus of 3.
Social.
I could have made that easier, but I like the feel of -1 to your worst stat.
Beauty. Cord, and then money. Sorry, can you say those stats again as well?
Just like that.
-1. So you read it out the other way round, so then I wrote it the other way round. Right, cool, got it.
So basically when it comes time to do a D6 roll, you do this.
These are my stats. My modifiers, if you will.
Great. So we got Opia roper.
Opia. I wrote a H. There's not a H. There's not, because it's an
you know
actual
what I'm
word.
going to do? I have to write it in a way so that I don't get it wrong. Opia. I'm going to just write it like that.
Yeah.
Roper. Opia roper.
Opia roper.
Okay. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Your carriage pulls through the gates of the Imperial Palace, its sprawling beauty before you, a structure seemingly growing from the very mountain itself. And though the architecture mirrors the dramatic edges and shapes of the Sierra, it is as gilded as a jeweler's shop. Iridian flags flutter in the warm breeze, and the lilt of music spills from open windows. As you approach the grand entrance, a flurry of staff meet your carriage and begin fussing over your luggage. A figure steps to your door, pale skin, cool as a winter morning, and hidden behind a gold mask from the nose up. They exude lithe androgyny. Black hair tumbles around the mask, and a pair of small horns curl back from the forehead. They take your hand as you make to alight the carriage. They say, "Greetings, Master Roper. Welcome to the Imperial Palace. My name is Otro, and I will be your personal valet." So the first character is Otro, who is a they, them, and they are your personal valet. As your trunks are taken ahead of you, you step through the massive arched entrance into the yawning hallway with marble pillars adorned with golden vines. Dappled light dances the floors and walls from stained glass windows. I hope your travels have not been too taxing for you. Your mother arrived ahead of you and awaits your arrival in your suite. Walking through the halls scented with jasmine and citrus, you hear a commotion ahead of you. Before you can even make out the crowd, you see that the staff that are carrying your belongings stop and bow in readiness for the approaching people. The entourage surrounds the towering form of Emperor Julian II. Skin the colour of sun-aged red clay, adorned hair of deep red that seems to flicker at the ends like flame, and amber eyes burn loose draping clothes hang from bronze clips. One set of horns curl from around his ear to almost touch at the front, very much like Sunny's, and another set of horns are like corkscrewing stag horns up from the top of his head. So this is Emperor Julian II. There's a he-him. To his right is a petite woman, so different to the Emperor in every way. Her skin is a shocking pale cream and framed with hair of seafoam green, so straight and shiny it looks like water. Her dark turquoise eyes hasten to take in every detail that surrounds her, and though she is small in stature, there is a glittering intensity to her that belies a terrifying cleverness. This is Princess Niky of the Khotan Empire. She, her. To the Emperor's left is another woman. Again, dazzling and uncommon in looks. This woman is tall and preternaturally feline in her movements. Her attention is focused intently on the people who address her, capturing them in her intense gaze. Her skin is the colour of lychee, pink and creamy. Her hair a vivid lavender, cascading wildly about her shoulders. This is the Fey ambassador, Lady Mor Luen. She, her.
Lady what?
Mor Luen.
Is it more Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen?
M-O-R-L-U-E-N.
I'm writing it as I will remember to pronounce it right. She's the ambassador, Fey ambassador, yeah?
Yes. So she is a Fey.
I have a question.
Niky is...
We're F-E-Y, right? Not F-A-Y.
E-Y, yes.
Just...
Yeah. But it's all a little bit interchangeable.
Bloody Fey.
Bloody Fey. Princess Niky is a Yanti.
Yeah, I've already got that.
Doodada is
I also made a note.
Fiti.
Too smart? Question mark?
You like a little dum-dum?
I think Opia has an agenda.
Okay. You step forward to bow and be taken in by the Emperor and his guests. Now, first rolls.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I made the font so tiny.
You did this to yourself. I was in Lydia's office the other day and I went, Lydia, are those the fucking pages you're reading off the wall? That's fucking ridiculous. No one can read. You know when she's like, no fucking chance. No fucking chance.
I like to really test myself in the middle of battle to try and read font 7 from far, far away, stuck on the wall. Okay, so what we need first as you step forward and bow to the Emperor is a roll of a D6, and you want to add your social standing.
Fuck! 1 minus 1 0.
Great. So,
goose egg, baby.
as you are announced by Otro, who gestures theatrically to you, and you take your bow, the Emperor looks at you for a moment and then turns to speak to his guests. You see, we bring so many hopefuls to the palace to play the great game. This palace season is not just for the innermost circle of nobility. It is about social mobility and, of course, love. The guests smile in agreement and look at you as you straighten from your bow and smile at the Emperor. Now, can you please roll a d6 and add your beauty?
I'm alright looking. 4 plus 1, 5.
You feel the eyes of the crowd on you. The Emperor speaks directly to you. You are welcome here, and I look forward to seeing what you make of the season. As the crowd moves past you and away, many eyes linger on you. But you are soon left with Otro, finding your way to your suite. Okay, so that was a fail and a pass. Not too bad, not too bad. You're already making a name for yourself because you're hotter than you are well known.
Who's that fit mystery?
Fit mystery. That's the name we should have gone with.
Yeah, fit mystery.
Okay. You eventually find yourself in your quarters. A central parlour of ornate velvet furnishings. I'm so sorry, silk furnishings.
Thank you.
Bronze and glass tables with trays of teas and fruit.
Everyone just slipping off of everything.
It's like satin, they're like, fuck.
We're all wearing silk. It's a fucking nightmare.
These are the troubles of the uber rich. To one side of the parlour is a row of arched, glassless windows with fluttering sheer drapes. Doors lead to several sleeping quarters and washrooms. There you find not only your mother already drinking tea as she orders the staff around, placing trunks and garment bags, but your childhood friend, Dessa, also known as Dessa by you. Now, Dessa is NB, and human, and goes, is a they them. You have been thick as thieves with Dessa for as long as you can remember, and barring one intense summer romance, you have often spent many hours talking about when you would both do the palace season together and how you would help each other win the dreamiest of spouses. They stand there in light blue wide trousers with a cropped silk blouse showing off their trim figure and deep bronze skin. Their blonde hair is pulled into a shiny high ponytail and their caramel eyes glitter with joy as you enter the room. They pull you into a tight hug and they smell of spun sugar and figs. Finally, I was out of my mind waiting for you. Isn't everything just divine? If we hadn't been planning this our whole lives, I would be easily distracted into just gawking at everything and indulging myself into a puddle. My suite is on the same floor, so we can always coordinate and catch up at the end of every day, just as we'd always planned. But it's terribly unfair that you should still look so good even though you've only just stood your feet on the ground after such a long journey. I had to have a bath and a rest before coming to see you. But listen to me babbling on. Your mother has been so kind to listen to me while we were waiting for you. Behind Dessa, your mother pours you a jasmine tea. Young Dessa, you know I have always considered you a surrogate child. When your parents passed and you were left all alone in that huge estate with so much to suddenly be responsible for, I would have done anything to help you through. And now look at you, a ripe, rich fruit ready for the picking. That last sentence always makes me feel quite sick.
The fact that you said I indulged myself into a puddle it sounds like a Mills and Boon phrase for masturbating.
Well, you never know. You never know. You don't know. Dessa's into that kind of stuff.
What, wanking? is
healthy.
wanking, is that listable as a hobby?
It is at the Divisia census. Now, with a polite clearing of the throat, Otro intersects. Your belongings are all arrived and now can be unpacked for you should you wish. Take the evening to settle because tomorrow will be the welcome breakfast where debutantes can make their first impressions. A little about my role. I am here to help you in any way. I can give you insights into each event in the palace. I have contacts in the city should you need anything from clothing alterations to accessories to entertainment and discreet organising of private rendezvous. I can send for people to bring you almost anything, and my quarters are next door to yours for your constant convenience. You see your mother impatient at the valet and wishing to begin planning with you for tomorrow morning. Why are you still here? You are a maid. Go away. She waves her hand for them to leave, and Dessa clears their throat uncomfortably. Now, you've got 4 options of how to respond to that.
Hit me.
You wordlessly turn away with Dessa and your caregiver, your mother, and you drink your tea is the first one, just turning away from Otro. Response 2, Mother! Otro is a valuable asset. They could give us just the head start that we need. Response 3, how can you speak in such a way? Otro, please forgive my mother. She did not mean to be disrespectful to you. 4, can we all just relax and have something stronger than a tea? There's so much time for us to enjoy ourselves. I immediately hate that.
No, I don't hate it. Sorry. So it's between 1 and 2.
Okay.
Are we, so just because I've been not watching them because I wanted to come into this as a character and not like game anything. Do we talk the thought processes out?
If you like, yes, absolutely. Yeah. We need to know why you're thinking certain things.
I'm making notes. I'm giving everybody just a one-line summary, like Otro, Valet, Julian, Emperor, and then I'm putting a negative immediately underneath absolutely everybody, because I feel like Opia is here to get married to secure themselves a future because their parents have fucking fumbled the bag. As in they've all but spent it, and what they're going to be left with is maybe a coffer of a few thousand gold if they're lucky, or a house. So they're here to get married. So just for everyone can get like a feel for the character. Otro, immediately too low status. So 3 and 4 out of the question, absolutely out of the question. Julian, too high status. Like the risk is embarrassment, risks not being able to get married to anyone. Like it's easy to fumble, and they're aware enough about themselves that that's not the one. Niky is potentially too smart and will see through it. So that's a maybe. I don't have a negative for the Fae ambassador yet because I've not met her properly. Dessa is the first person to have a positive, which is the huge estate, and no one else. So. But their negative is maybe they know too much about Opia, which means that if they go for Dessa, they're giving up the game. That Dessa, while there is a version of the win, like a version of like success and like a comfortable life, the game's out of the window.
Okay.
This whole like marrying up and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think they really quite like Dessa, which is maybe speaks to the fact that Dessa's the only person with a positive right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they really like Dessa.
Yeah.
But are burdened with the knowledge of what's coming.
Yeah.
And that they're So that's where Opia is at.
Okay.
Because this is what a power season is, right?
Yeah.
It's not all love and romance.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fucking business.
It's fucking business.
It is fucking business. So option 1 was to just wordlessly turn away.
Just turn away and focus on Dessa and your mum.
It's option 1. And it's option 1 for 2 reasons.
Okay.
Opia doesn't have the wit to pull off option 2 or to go for option 2 as their gut reaction. They're not like they're not Machiavellian. They're determined, and there's a difference.
Yeah.
And also they quite like Dessa, so that's prompting the decision to go for number 1.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. The response to option 1. You wordlessly turn away with Dessa and your mother and drink your tea. Otro bows and leaves. Dessa pulls their arm away. That was cold. I've just remembered I need to run an errand at the jeweler's. I'll see you tomorrow. Now you can respond to this. Response 1. I should have known you'd flake so soon. I'll see you at breakfast. Option 2. I'm sorry if I upset you. Even if you are disappointed in me, we vowed we would help each other this season, and I hope that you will keep that promise. Response 3. I'm so sorry, Dessa. The heat must be getting to me. Let me call them back and apologise to them. Or response 4. Come on now, Dessa. Please forget that ever happened. Come and drink tea with us, or I'm sure I could call for something stronger.
Option 2 is the only one that felt close to right.
Yeah, like we got a deal. You got to.
Yeah, less. So I like the ones where it's like, oh, I'm really sorry, but I don't think they'd go as far as to
call Otro back and apologise.
Yeah, because that risks Valet's talk, and that risks lowering them to a groveler.
Okay.
But it's they don't want Dessa to be upset with them, so it is number 2.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm deciding answers too quickly.
No, that's perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Dessa, as they leave, turns and says, with a smile, "I'm very glad that you have not forgotten that. Of course, we will always help each other." Very interesting on the marks front already. I just got to quickly write down the marking system. Okay. Day 1 done. So basically, every time you speak to somebody, there's a mark how much they enjoyed that interaction.
It's like I was going to say it's like this type of game. Yeah, it actually is.
Yeah.
I just added another positive to Dessa's, which is kind, will make Opia better.
That's nice. Right. And so the first day of the palace season begins. You wake and dress in something that you hope will capture the attention of everyone at the breakfast banquet and make your way to the grand terrace. It is a pale stone balcony that overlooks all of the capital, and warm city air whips up the mountain and silk streamers flutter along the balustrades. Staff, all wearing the gold masks, carry carafes of mimosas and cucumber water, and the tables groan with the weight of platters of elaborate carved fruit and other delicacies. Woo! Delicatessens.
You've had a sip of a very light gin.
Let me just take some more. You see Dessa at the far end of the balcony, and they wave happily to you as they share a plate of strawberries with a tall man with long chestnut hair. As you move through the banquet, you see that this isn't a formal event. Many float from table to table, and you drink a cool aromatic tea and make your way to the edge of the balcony for the breeze. You see 2 men in conversation, and they stop, turning to include you. One man you know from posters and paintings all over the empire. This is the famous actor and bard Aeschylus Pine. I know that's kind of a difficult name.
I'm just
Aeschylus.
Pine. Don't worry
Mr.
about
Pine.
it.
His grey eyes draw you in, and his lips part in a mischievous smile, revealing gleaming white teeth. His long copper hair is pulled into a careless bun, but obsidian beads belie a purpose to the aesthetic. Next to him is a man that you have also heard tell of. Captain Toll, despite his youth, has many a song written about him already. Though the attention is not welcomed, it is rumoured that he has the blood of giants in his veins. Despite how he towers over the other guests, his kind blue eyes and soft smiling mouth present him as a thoughtful man.
Rumours of giant blood in his veins is big. He's got a massive cock euphemism.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
His shoulder length blonde hair and blonde stubble, and he looks unaccustomed to wearing the light white shirt that, because of the breeze, billows and reveals a body built for exertion and battle. So we have Aeschylus Pine, who is a he/him. We have Captain Toll, who is also a he/him.
I've got summary for Aeschylus Pine.
Yeah.
Actor. Immediate negative. Actor. Captain Toll is kind giant, and I think I'm gonna put. This sounds horrible. Earned wealth.
Yeah, he's clearly he's a military guy that's worked really hard on the battlefield and has like
Easy come, easy go, love. That's not what Opia sounds like.
Aeschylus. Hello. Captain Toll and I were just discussing these events. I find them a thrilling environment to find love. But Captain Toll here, I fear, yearns for a more earnest environment to find love. What are your thoughts? Now, your 4 options. Response 1. I think the palace season allows the cream to rise, Mr. Pine. Those with the aptitude for court may have a way to find the life that they seek, and those who cannot play the game will find themselves lonely. So that's the first response. Second, I think 2 accomplished and handsome men knowing themselves and their preferences and finding common ground despite different backgrounds would make the emperor happy. 3, surely it is not where you find love and companionship, but that you find it at all. It takes bravery to love, whether it is across a marble dance floor or in a desert. Or the final response, I think there's a third way to see it. There is so much fun to be had when you think not of the pursuit, but of wine and dancing. So response 1 is like, I agree. It's like, it's cut and thrust, and if you play it really well, then you get a really good life. And if you can't, bad luck.
I don't think they're witty enough.
Then there's also like, you guys, look at you, aren't you amazing? The emperor would love this. And then there's response 3, which is like, love is love is love is love.
So it's 2 or 4, and I'm leaning to 2 for this reason, right?
Yeah.
Like, very deliberately put wit lower than beauty.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of a character who has fallen into a scheme that is bigger than they can execute.
Okay.
And them going, I need to get married, I need to go above my station, I need to secure myself a life, all this stuff, because I know my family's wealth is crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have like I said, Machiavellian wit to go, right, I'm gonna fucking game this, I'm gonna all this stuff. So they know what they should do in theory, but I don't, like, as in, they know big picture because they've been told and advised, but they've not been coached on individual situations and how to make that happen, really. I think a part of them believes in the actual love thing, but I think they know enough to not to say. I think they're like on, so I think it's number 2, which is they're like, well, you guys.
I think 2 accomplished and handsome men knowing themselves and their preferences and finding common ground despite different backgrounds would make the emperor very happy.
It's a lot of words of nothing, which feels like Ophia's fallback, which is just sort of hot air.
2. Response 2. Wait, is that what it was? Yeah, response 2. Both men seem kind of unimpressed by the transparent compliments. Captain Toll says, the ever-present eye of all and the emperor is quite the scrutiny I only wish for my career, not in matters of the heart. Have you met the emperor yet? Now, your response to that can be option 1, I would not share my private conversations with the emperor with you or anyone else. Or option 2, the emperor had the good taste to like me as soon as he met me yesterday. I am sure to be granted a private audience any moment. Option 3, briefly, yes. In both your careers, you must have such insights into the hearts and characters. This is more talking to Aeschylus, I have to say.
Okay.
Through the parts that you inhabit as an actor, or as the. Wait, let me just. Sorry, I've typed it out so badly.
No, it's all cool. I was completely on board, by the way. I wasn't lost.
Briefly, yes. In both your careers, you must have such insights into hearts and characters. Through the parts that you inhabit as an actor, or the actions of those in power, being him.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have great discernments on His Imperial Highness. Or the final option, which is, I did. He seemed like someone who knew how to enjoy himself, which surprised and delighted me. So he seemed like a party guy. Or
I'd say that's 4.
yes. So 1 is like, I'm not telling you. Option 2 is like, yeah, he loved me. Option 3 is let's talk about you. And
I think
you're
it's that.
Like, yeah.
I think it's that. I think Ophia doesn't think they have enough going on to warrant conversation about themselves.
Cute.
So it's option 3.
Okay, cute. Wait, what?
I'm trying to do. I'm in a character, and what are the character doing? I can see the ones and zeros, guys. I can see the fucking Matrix. I know what's coming. But Opia can't see shit. Also, just everyone needs to know throughout all of this, Opia is making intense, ambiguous eye contact with everyone they speak to.
All right. So you say briefly, yes, in both your careers you must have such insights into hearts and characters. Aeschylus seems to grow bored, but Captain Toll leans in. Yes, I agree. One's actions tell us so much of character and soul. So you've impressed Captain Toll there. Right. For the next 5 days, you and the other debutantes are brought together every day to learn an elaborate dance to be performed for the Emperor and his guests on the evening of the 6th day. You must impress the palace season coordinator, Mrs. Cremata. To be, in order to impress her, she will then...
Kai's mum.
She is not a romance option. But she is
Never
the
said
person,
romance.
she is the person who like places you in the dance. So if you impress her with your dancing, she'll put you in a good spot and you'll get seen by more people. So roll a d6 and add your coordination.
6 plus 2 is 8. Opia can dance. Opia got moves. God, can you imagine being Ophia's dance partner and getting that intense eye contact?
The day of the performance arrives, and after dinner, the Emperor and his guests enter the ballroom, where chairs are set up like a theatre with musicians ready by the edge of the stage. There are arcane lights that shine up at you, and the nervous debutantes ready themselves for the dance. Whatever happens, it'll be observed by everyone in the palace, guests, Emperor, fellow debutantes, and staff alike. You perform the choreography perfectly, and Mrs. Cremata is extremely impressed. She had already put you front and centre for the dance. Now, we need to see how gorgeous you are as you dance. So please roll a d6 and add beauty. Beauty. You still have to make an impact in that
4.
performance.
3 plus 1.
With unparalleled grace and agility, you are the star of the performance, and there is no one, including the Emperor, who does not seek your attention after the show. Nailed it.
They're the things I should be good at, right?
Okay. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff.
Do I fuck Kai's mum?
You don't, you fucking do not. Everyone's scared of her, but you did impress her. That's all you get. That's the end of that week. New week, new social interaction.
New week, new problems. That's my motto.
A grand ride is organised for the guests of the Emperor and the debutantes. Otro brings you to the royal stables and you are shown to your horse. They will ride just behind you so that they can get you anything that you might need. And Otro tells you that they are a good rider, so if you're ever in trouble, they can help. Horse and riders stream out of the stables and the palace grounds and up into the mountains that overlook the capital. It is breathtaking. You find yourself in a line of riders as the path narrows, and ahead of you, you see the Emperor on a powerful warhorse. Looking to the side of you, you see Princess Niky, her hair being tugged from its style by the fresh mountain air. Dark blue-grey eyes look to you. And where you expected coldness, you find spark and wit dancing. She says, "Your Grace, I seem to find myself in step with someone who cannot be expected to keep up in my conversation of politics and philosophy as you can." She flashes you a smile, an almost imperceptible invitation to play. Julian calls back, "I wanted you to get to know the Iridian people, my people, for empires, whether yours or mine, are not made of diamonds alone, but of rock and mortar and crystal and soil and ore. Who knows what a fear is made out of? But there is no better time to find out.
Water.
Whoa-ah.
Water.
Option 1 to this interaction. You say, by my eye, the ruby tells the emerald to converse with rock, unable to see that they do in fact speak to the diamond. Or option 2, your graces, though I never wish to disappoint my emperor, you will find no common matter here. For the more I speak, the more you will find that I glitter more brilliantly than any diamond.
Fucking setting yourself up for failure with that one if you go for that over here.
Option 3. Your grace, you honour me that I could be such a branch between our empires. Princess Niky is clearly a woman of immense insight and grace, and will find in me only goodness and loyalty. Option 4. Thank you, your grace. Princess Niky, let us drink wine and converse while we ride. So the first two are kind of clever answers.
Yeah,
because they're wordplay.
Opia wouldn't think of them.
The third one is like, I'll do my best. I'm a good, loyal person. And the final one is like, woo! Let's drink wine.
Yeah, I think it's option 3.
Okay.
Because, and I know this has no standing in anything apart from affecting my choices, is I actually think Opia is not drinking. Or trying to drink as little as possible during the season.
Character.
Yeah, I know I do this a lot,
Yeah.
but I think it's weird. It's
Never have we had a Niky character that gets drunk.
No,
Or
like Sunny
drinks even at
drinks,
all.
but like doesn't like. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and I think it's because Niky drinks so much. And I think you know, this is how this person gets a upper hand, right?
Is by letting other people get drunk.
Because everyone else is smarter than them.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a seasoned coach's advice. Is like, let people drink. It's what I do when I'm hanging out with clients.
Yeah.
I let them drink more, and then I get them a refill and just add more tonic water to my gin, and then
Sneaky.
yeah, like I am a Machiavellian arsehole, but Opia is just
You heard it first.
desperate. Yeah, that's my job. See, it's option 3, and I've added a positive to Necky's, which is eyes.
Eyes.
Intense eye contact is Ophia's thing, so that's a positive.
Your Grace, so you said, Your Grace, you honour me that I should be such a branch between our empires. Princess Niky is clearly a woman of immense insight and grace, and will find in me only goodness and loyalty. 3.
That feels like a safe lie.
3. Princess Niky looks away, taking in the vista. Julian slows. Princess, though Opia, I asked for you to converse together, I find myself intrigued and would ask if I could swap riding positions so that I might better get acquainted. So essentially, he's asking to be able to talk to you.
Yeah.
I mean...
Because if you fuck it with Julian, you fucked it with everyone, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've already crossed out Julian.
Yeah, but also...
Yeah. But if you win... But, oh, fuck, they've got big swingers in their bloodline, right?
Are you talking about dicks again?
No, I'm talking about their grandfather taking a big bet on... Or their dad taking a big bet on...
Ah, right. You've
big
got
swings.
big swingers.
The ropers make big swings.
Okay, so Julian says to you, so tell me, this season in the palace, it is a celebration of love. Wait. When your future children ask you of love, what will you tell them? Now, your response can be one of 4 things. Option 1, that they should have a heart of iron, as love is rarely worth the weakness it creates in its wake. Option 2, I will let them love 3 things. I will tell them that love is 3 things. Love is a feeling that can be fleeting. Love is also a book to be read and learnt by heart. And lastly, it is a weapon to be wielded with finesse. Or option 3, I will tell them that love made them, that their flesh and bone is made from the gift of Lady Thorn, that the Emperor loved his people and gave us this season that let me find someone to cherish and make children, and in turn found a new love of great power. There is no need to tell your grace that the bond between parent and child is as strong a force that keeps us tethered to the ground. So
You've absolutely taken a swing at Niky's soft spot in there.
which is Lady Thorn.
Yeah.
And option 4, I will tell them that they should not try to understand love, that it is wild and an intricate thing, that they should stumble through it as blind as through a fog, that it cannot be conquered and it cannot be weaponized. It is not a clever puzzle box, nor a shrine to be worshipped. It is a rabbit hole to fall down and scream with delight for every foot that you fall. This is a new option. We haven't seen this one yet, have we, guys?
Right.
So.
No.
Heart of Iron.
So this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think Opia wants to say 3.
Yeah.
But might say 4.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I don't know how. I'm gonna go with 3, but I'm just vocalizing the character's internal monologue. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think I'm going 3.
That their flesh and bone is made from the gift of Lady Thorn.
Yeah.
The Emperor loves, that parents and children love.
Oh, so fucking... so simpy, but like, I think it's got the deference that Opia doesn't have the confidence in their social standing to speak to 4, whereas leaning on deference is a safe bet in a social situation when you're dealing with someone of a higher standing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The response is this.
Why? Like, I'm like doing the same mannerisms that I was doing last week, and that's as Sunny.
Julian says, then you have a greater wisdom than I could hope for in a debutante. Come ride with me ahead of the rest, and you and I will be the first to see the view from the top of the mountain.
Fuck.
Oops! I banged an emperor.
Oh.
I'm just going to quickly do a tally and see if if you've tripped off any private moments.
This is where Otome comes up to me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Get out of here!
You absolute bottom. Total sub energy in a mask being like, oh yes sir, no sir.
You're going to really piss me. There's some people in chat who are 100% for Otome.
Hey, I think Niky thinks Otome is an adorable character, and that story is such a beautiful narrative. I am Opia right now, and that getting with a valet is right. If Opia was going to make a move of the heart at a rival, it would have been Dessa.
Yeah.
Opia, like Otome doesn't even register on that fucking scale for Opia, right? But Opia is trying to make, trying to secure a life, because, as I say, they're very aware that there is a ticking financial clock in their not too distant future. Like, maybe they'll get into their 50s and 60s before that happen, but then what are they going to fucking do? You know, they can't start making rope at that point. Which is why an actor's no good, a valet's no good, and a fucking...
Hey, listen, this is the most famous actor in the world. Like, this is...
no good. It's the thing with the actor and the captain. They travel a lot, which means they spend a lot.
I mean, they travel with an army, so...
The captain does. The actor has to pay for their army.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the actor is an immediate note for that reason. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many outgoings. They've seen their parents tear through their wealth. And, like, speaking to an actor is like, oh, you're going to do the same thing. When you stop acting, you're going to tear through your wealth.
Yeah.
It happens with celebrities and sports people all the time in IRL. So...
I mean, at least Captain Toll might have a pension.
Captain Toll, yeah, but also earned wealth. And I don't think when the dust settles that Captain Toll will see value in Opia.
You take a rare moment alone to walk the rose gardens of the palace. You are taking in the heady scent when you hear a voice behind you. Is it the flowers that enrapture you or the fine air? It is Captain Toll. I think it could be both, Captain, you reply. Then please, do me the honour of letting me take you on a walk outside the palace where the air is even finer and the wild flowers grow. Now you have the opportunity to immediately shut him down, if you wish, or you could go for a little stroll in the mountains with Captain Toll.
As in, you give me the option right now?
Yeah, you can, I'm not going to force
Lydia,
you
I
to...
just spent 7 to 10 minutes talking about why Captain Toll is not the right move.
Well, I mean...
And if I can shut someone down in private without it having, like, making it...
But you might want to keep your options open.
My options, no.
So you're shutting him down.
Big swings.
So you say, Captain Toll, in the season of romance, I would not wish to give you the wrong impression by being alone with you. He nods respectfully and leaves you to your garden wall.
Yeah. I think it's appropriate.
Oh, you know what? I think I have actually scooched over quite an important thing that should have happened at the end of the dance.
We're going way back.
So we're going... Well, it's only last week.
Yeah,
It's
way
before-
back. Fuck you, you really fucked it.
I've really fucked it. I've really fucked it. It was a little wee insert though. Okay. After the dance, you find yourself walking with Otro back to the debutante's wing. You hear something from a room, though Otro warns you, you enter. So Otro's like, you can go now. You see the Fey ambassador, Morluen, and a collection of musicians. She is saying, yes, you're finally getting close, but please, more lift in the melody. She sees you as you enter. Pardon me, I had a fanciful idea that I could teach Fey music to mortal musicians, and I'm afraid I've been putting these poor people through their paces. The music that they play is beautiful, and it's swinging and syncopated, and while the drums vibrate, there is soaring viols that lift you, and it's incredible music. It is like nothing that you've heard before. I see that your valet is keen to spirit you away so that you are not enthralled by my Fey charms. But please, it has been so long since I have danced to a Fey tune, and she holds her hand out to you. Response 1. I would never be so foolish as to obey a Fey being for fear that you would steal me away. Response 2. Otro looks after me, but they would never deny me such a moment with you, my lady. Response 3. If I ease any homesickness you feel, though my dancing is poor, perhaps it might comfort you. Or final response, luckily dancing is my favourite pastime. Though I do not know the steps, I trust you will teach me.
I was so ready to go for 3. With like a faux modesty thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4 slips out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luckily dancing is my favourite pastime, and though I do not know the steps, I trust that you will teach me. She sweeps you up into the dance, and you do everything that you can to keep up. The steps are a heady mix of flying leaps and lifts that make the heart race, and fast-travelling waltz-type steps that leave you breathless. By the end, you collapse together on a bench, smiling and laughing. She gazes at you as she pours a cup of wine to share. Now, do you say? Option 1, well, I'll never do that again. Do you require everyone to be an athlete just to enjoy dancing in the Feywild? Or do you say, we should show the court this dance. I will practice and be better, but surely it should be shared. Option 3, do you miss this when you're away from home? I think it must be hard to be absent from your homeland. Or option 4, there is this game we play in some places here where you dance vigorously with a partner, both grasping the same goblet of wine, and you must try not to spill a drop. Let's dance again, but this time with wine.
Right, you also need to shuffle away because your hand is in my camera and you're leaning off the fucking again. Sit. So 4 is a definite no. 1 is a definite no. So can you give me the summary of 2 and 3?
2 is like, let's show this off to everybody.
Right.
And 3 is, are you homesick?
It is so hard not to ask other D&D-esque questions because my first thought is Dessa a good dancer? If Dessa's a good dancer, then they would be like, we'll show this off and then me and Dessa will fucking nail it and then we'll like the dance and then we'll both look good. So there's the I'm enjoying the game and my urge is to delve deeper into these characters, which means you've done a very good job. Assuming that Dessa and I are very good friends and I like dancing, I'm going to go for number 3.
Are you homesick?
I think, yeah, I'm going to go for number. No, Dessa's, in my mind, Dessa's a good dancer, right or wrongly. Dessa's a good dancer, and if not, I could help Dessa, and it will make us both look good. So I'm going for 2.
Okay. We should show the court this dance. I will practice and be better, but surely it should be shared. Morlowen smiles. Your ambition does you credit. You do dance well for a mortal. Perhaps sometime you could learn these things in my homeland and come back to show the courts. I fear my teaching skills would not do the Fae credit. But you did well this night, and my soul is lifted to tread the steps again. I'm going to do a quick tally. So that was... And... Okay. So that is...
I'm just looking at what chat says now. Just Agatha emojis.
I mean, a Fae ambassador, that's a very secure job. You'd always be travelling with them, but you'd always be, everything is fitted and expensed, and she's beautiful, and it's just that Fae life is very whether you think that Opia would be able to keep up with that Fae life.
Whether or not they can doesn't really matter, because they will have to, if that becomes the thing.
Yeah.
Basically, looking at, if they wanted to go for Captain Toll, they would deal with the travelling lifestyle. They're very aware that in doing this, they're becoming potentially becoming very passive in their lifestyle.
Yeah.
But they sort of have to,
because you don't have a kind of job that you've got. Yeah.
And if my job is, being a partner, then I'll do it to the best of my ability. So whatever that takes.
All right.
Yeah. I think part of that is Opia feels like there are options. And the options are, Julian's not a no, but Julian wanted to talk to Opia over Niky, and Opia would go, I think that's going to make Niky like me more. And then obviously there's Dessa, and it just felt too emotive, and using that in a Machiavellian sense or in an earnest sense doesn't feel like Opia in this moment. There you go, chat. That's what I'm thinking about.
All right. For the next 4 days, the halls of the debutantes wing are a hive of activity as rehearsals commence for the play.
Oh, fuck.
While various work people are already assembling a set and props, auditions are organised. Those that wish to compete for roles in the play must speak lines and sing a song while dancing in front of Mrs. Cremata, the mistress of palace season. You see people nervously step up and try their hardest to impress her. Some leave the stage in tears from her scolding words, and some smile broadly. It is your turn. Roll a d6 and add wit.
Do I have to?
Yes. Any other angel?
1 plus 0. Head empty.
You step up to do your audition, and you do not get the part. Without the spotlight on you, you will need to find another way to stand out. Otro says that you can still catch the attention of the crowd by having the most beautiful costume. So you are now going to embellish the costume that you were given, which is the most obnoxious thing to do. But roll a d6 and add family money.
Oh, fuck yeah, I've got that. Master of the ass.
You're just like that extra who has just put sequins on everything.
It's called bedazzle. Do you like my rhinestone denim jacket? You can't even see the denim. Fuck. I rolled a 5 plus 3 is 8. They're fucking spending money.
Your costume glitters and dazzles, and even though you do not speak a line, many people approach you after the performance to say that they could not keep their eyes off you.
It's that fucking weird. It's that ambiguous but intense eye contact. Can you imagine like watching a play and making like undeniable eye contact with someone in the back in like an insane costume, just like
you're the extra in a film that just looks straight down the camera lens.
Fucking barreled that IMAX camera. Let's go. Catch my pupils in 3D.
Okay, wait. Let me just do another quick tot up. Okay, all right, here we go. Scrambly, wambly.
I mean, it makes sense that Otro's mother would be just fucking burning money on this shit.
Afia.
Why did I say Otro? Jesus Christ. Afia's mother would just be throwing money at this.
Yes, absolutely. Late one evening, as you prepare for bed, a staff member knocks and announces that the Fae Ambassador, Lady Morlawen, would like to visit you in your suite. If you agree, you can, of course, say no. It's very bold of her to do this.
It is very bold of her. I think Lady Morlawen is just above that, sits above that line that I've shunted Pine and Captain Toll below. In that, I'm saying yes.
Okay.
Come in!
Please do show her in, if she is happy that I'm in my evening attire. Before long, the willowy cat-like form of Lady Morlawen sweeps into your room, and she clutches a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. Good evening. Thank you for allowing me this time with you. I bring wine, mortal wine, of course, but it is a good vintage. You sit together by the open window, the smell of jasmine carried by the cool night breeze. You are an uncommon creature, Fear. I have spent many months in the mortal realm, and indeed in the Iridian Palace, and it is a rare thing to have my head turned by mortal charms. You reply with, You honour me, but you find me at a disadvantage, Lady Morlawen. I know so little of the Feywild, only what we are told in fairy tales. Tell me a little more of your home. It has a beauty that few mortals could conceive of, but it is savage too. The savagery adds to the beauty. That is true of all things Fey. We are not sweet like custard. We are not syrupy smelling like a geranium. We are as delicious as a chili pepper and as fragrant as this wine with its tannins and age. You say, You speak with such poetry. I can see how people are seduced into making promises to the Fey. Make no mistake, a Fey bargain is as strong as steel, and the strongest bargain of all is that of marriage. The Fae take it very seriously. We would know those that we hope to make such a bargain with. We would know what it feels like for our fingertips to touch, for our mouths to meet, for our hearts to beat as one, so that there can be no disappointment later. And she strokes a finger along your arm. Now, your response is... Obviously, this is in my world, so you can sleep and smooch whoever you want. It doesn't ruin anything.
I'm well aware of that. Both Opia and Niky are.
Okay, option 1. As a diplomat, you will court me on my terms, fairy. You will not... You have not even poured the wine and already you take advantage? Option 2. You turn your hand over so that your fingertips meet. Then let this be the first of your tests. Once I have passed it with flying colours, let us quickly move on to the next, and you lean in to kiss. Option 3 is, then you have lingered too long in the mortal realm, for I see sweetness in you. I see caution in the way that you wish to love me, and there is no shame in that. Or option 4. You caress her cheek and lean in to kiss her passionately. And I think this next bit that I've written, it should not be said. Oh yes, let us take this evening to get to know each other. We have the rest of the season to play and drink, and let us think not of the future.
I think... What was 3 again?
3 is you're very sweet and you shouldn't be ashamed of how sweet you are.
I think that. Yeah. Although I don't think she's going to like it. Yeah, it's 3, I think.
Okay. She pulls her hand away at this, her lip curling in disgust. You speak of things you know nothing of. I was mistaken in coming here. You are a dull and common thing. And she leaves.
Well, you're fat anyway. I didn't want to fuck you.
Her head pokes around the door. Sorry, what? What did you say?
She's... Fuck. Big incel energy coming from the Fae. Jesus. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not sweet.
I'm well edgy, actually.
I'm not sweet.
Sure, love. All right, Treacle.
Okay. We've done that week because you did the play.
How many weeks is this?
This is the last week.
Fuck.
Wait, I didn't add the dice rolls that you did. It was a 4 and a 1, right?
For what?
When you did the play.
So I rolled.
Because you didn't get the.
I rolled a 1 on my lines.
Yeah.
And I rolled a 8 because I rolled a 5 plus 3 on my outfit.
Okay.
So 1 and 8. Right, sweetness.
Okay.
Right, sugar.
So you had a moment with Toll, but it didn't go well. You had a moment with Morlowen, but it didn't go well.
This feels so hilariously here, which is like nailing first impressions and immediately fumbling the bag. It's what the Roper family do. We take big swings, we get real close, and then we fuck it up at the last hurdle.
Okay. Before we go into the final week. Okay. You are in the debutante's courtyard, practicing your dancing for the final ball, when Dessa swoops in to partner with you. You sweep across the marble floor, holding each other in a light embrace. They say, "In all our planning, did we ever think this would be so thrilling?" And you reply with, "I could never have guessed that my dearest friend would outshine every noble and influential person in the palace." Dessa flushes, and you stop dancing, still standing so close. In truth, every encounter I have with a prospective suitor, I find myself thinking of you. Whenever I think of a future with them, my heart breaks that it would not be with you. What have we done, Opia? You reply with, "I'll never forget our summer together, Dessa. It was one of the happiest times of my life." And they say, "I feel the same way, but could we really do this?" Option 1, no. It matters not the flutterings we feel. Do not tempt me into an ill-advised marriage. Option 2, you kiss them briefly. Dessa, we owe it to ourselves to give everything we have to this season that we planned for so long. I will find you at the end, and if you still feel this way, and I do too, then we talk again. 3, it has always been you, my sweet, beautiful Dessa, and you kiss. Or 4, we can do as we wish now. And right now, I want your lips on mine, and I care not who sees.
I think in true Roper fashion, I'm going to fumble the bag with a 2. I can't imagine she'd enjoy that. It's big, like, if we're still single by the 40, we'll get married, right?
Yeah.
You won't, but, like, you say it. Yeah, I think it's 2. Fuck.
Okay. Dessa smiles at you. I have always loved your ambition. I know my love will not falter. I will see you on the other side, my sweet. See, Dessa knows you.
Yeah.
So Dessa likes your ambition.
Yeah.
So all of the ambitious answers are always going to be to Dessa's
She
liking.
does know too much, but she doesn't hate me. God, fucking imagine that realization. Letting people know you when they don't hate you. Could never be me.
Okay. Let's go into the final week. D, I'm sure that somebody's going to say in thingy what the outcome is.
Hi, D.
Okay. Otro explains to you that the next 5 days will be the last time you can present yourself to all at the palace. At the beginning of the week, there is a feast, an evening of wine and food and excess. It is advised that you wear something eye-catching and in the latest fashion. At the end of the week, there will be a final exhibition of debutantes, an evening giving you your time to show your best talents and attributes. This is the time to use everything at your disposal to show everyone what you are made of. But first, they help you with your wardrobe and any alterations or last-minute accessories you might want. By the time the feast commences, you have done everything you can to look ravishing and on the cutting edge of fashion. I mean, it says here in brackets, describe your outfit, but I don't think that's your big, thing.
I don't know.
Michelle had drawn, an outfit and everything.
Well, I'm not going to fucking do that, am I? I think
draw Vampire Pope. It'll be basically...
Vampire Pope, let's go! And I think the outfit is... It's like... where am I from? Sorry. I've sort of been quietly thinking about this the whole time.
Obviously they can be from anywhere, and that includes the Zestos Sea. You could be from that. You could be an underwater person, or you could be from really anywhere.
Right, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I think it's a silk romper. It's horrible, right? With thigh-high boots.
Okay, that's the thigh-high boots sort of saved it. But I'm imagining the kind of low crotch that often happens in a romper.
No. It's like a formal romper, if that makes sense. And it's they got it from Lipsy rather than fucking New Look.
Right. So more like a jumpsuit than a it's a romper.
So I think it's that's the vibe, and it's tall boots.
Yeah.
And it's sort of low cut.
Yes.
To sternum.
Yes.
And then I think there's a headpiece of some description.
Nice.
Not a massive. I think actually it's like a diadem.
Yeah.
A diadem is the one that sits on your forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like that.
Like a circlet kind of thing.
Yeah, like a circlet. Maybe that's the word I was looking for. Like something that sits over the forehead. And I think there is. Oh God, this is disgusting. But there's like a really lightweight what's that material? It's not
chiffon.
Chiffon. I was going to say tweel.
Tulle
Not
stiffer.
That. Yeah, it's chiffon. I think it's super airy.
Yeah.
And they're tied around the wrist.
Nice.
So that I've got like two like flowing like things that are like 2 foot long.
Like the gymnasts that have the ribbons.
Yeah. So
love
it's sort of like, look, they've got money and they can move.
Yeah.
So let's, give them shorts for the range of movement. Although a jumpsuit gives very little range of movement. But it's let's accentuate these things.
Yeah. Really, I really
Make the legs look longer.
Do you know what I'm going to just say for the sake of my headcanon is that this isn't one of the water gymnasts that are constantly exuding, that are constantly down, because otherwise it's like clinging to them.
They're not like a water elemental. They're not. They're just like, maybe they're like a half water genasi or something.
Yeah.
Maybe their dad was a water genasi and their mum was a human or something, or an elf. So,
You step into the Hall of Feasts with Dessa. Arcane lights gently float through the vaulted ceilings like glowing fireflies. A horseshoe-shaped table occupies one end with the Emperor, his family, and guests. The rest of the room is an arrangement of long tables heavily decorated with carafes of wine and elaborate platters of food. Music lilts through the scented air, and already the room is alive with conversation and merriment. Otro pulls you away from your friend and whispers to you, "I have pulled strings so that you can sit on the high table if you are quick about it. This would give you access to all the important people."
Right.
You look at Dessa, who smiles widely at you and bids you to go and make the most of your opportunity. So, option 1. You race to the table, purposefully tripping a fellow Deb on the way, and your speed finds you a seat next to the Emperor. Or, option 2, you walk as fast as you can, and you find yourself next to the Fey diplomat. You find yourself next to Princess Niky, but only one spot away from the Emperor. Option 3, you offer the place to your dear friend Dessa. Option 4, you smile at Otro, pick up a glass of wine from the table nearest you and say, "As long as I have my friends, I will have a good time." After you take a sip, you see that your opportunity has passed and the space at the top table has been filled.
I think it's 3. I think there's an element of guilt in Ofia's. I think Ofia's been chatting to lots of people, but I think they feel like they've stolen Dessa's chance.
Right.
Because of the way Dessa feels about them.
Right. Yeah, because Dessa keeps thinking about you every time they're with somebody else, yeah.
So I think it's 3 in order to do what Opia and Dessa agreed, they want Dessa to have the best possible chance. And then, if it all ends up them together at the end of this, then so be it. But they want if this is where their life ends up, they want to know that they both gave it everything they got.
Yeah.
And they want to make sure Dessa did too.
Yeah.
So I think they give the seat to Dessa.
Okay. That was a hard one because everybody's watching that, so everybody has a different reaction. So
What's the table? What's the table with that? What have I on the fucking kids' table or something with my knees at my ears? What's the alternative?
You're about to find out. Kids' table. No, that's not right. That's not right. That's option 4. We want option 3. You offer that place to your dear friend Dessa. You go and sit with your mother, and to your other side is a sweet-looking academic type who smiles at you. But
Kai?
But the eagle-eyed emperor sees this and calls out to you over the hubbub. "Behold, this intrepid debutante was given an opportunity to sit by my side, and an act of true friendship gave up their space for their friend. I would toast such an act, but first, tell me, do you truly care more for your friend's happiness and future than your own?" You respond with everybody looking at you. Option 1. Your Grace, sometimes the closer you are to the sun, the more you prove that you burn easily. Option 2, Your Grace, I would move heaven and earth to sit by your side, but my dear friend is also my partner in crime, and I know, should they do well this season, they would look after me and help me in my future pursuits of marriage. Option 3, Your Grace, my friend Dessa, who now sits by your side, is my greatest and oldest friend, and seeing them flourish under the gaze of the finest and most noble people in attendance is an unparalleled joy. Or 4, Your Grace, the person to your side is my oldest friend, and this opportunity gives her such joy. My greatest joy is found in the feast itself. You have made a night to remember, with fine wine and unparalleled delicacies. In giving them my seat, we will both have a night to remember, even if it means that I must hear about your greatness secondhand.
Can you summarise 3 again for me? Because I think that feels like the
3
most.
is like,
She's the fucking tits.
if
she'll
she's
look
happy,
after me
I'm
worst
happy.
case.
Yeah.
3 is the one where it's like, I know that she'll support me, right?
Okay.
So I think
Two is the one where it's like, if she does well, she's gonna
So
hook
what was
me
3
up.
again? Sorry, can you read it
3
out?
is like, if she's happy, I'm happy.
Can you read out 3?
Yes.
Sorry, your summaries are really helpful.
But it's
but
misses the nuance.
I need the nuance to make the
So
character
3
decision.
says, Your Grace, my friend Dessa, who now sits by your side, is my greatest and oldest friend, and seeing them flourish under the gaze of the finest and most noble people in attendance is an unparalleled joy.
I think that sets Dessa up the best without making me sound like a clinger-on.
Yeah.
So I think it's that one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
In that, like, if I'm going to give Dessa the seat, I may as well give her the best shot, which is she is the fucking tits, and, you know, seeing her do well is, you know, good and happy and makes me happy. And that's the only one of those options that doesn't put Dessa on the back foot. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Whew. We have some dramatic...
Dessa pulls out a gun.
absolutely dramatic points going on here. Okay, but firstly, you say the third one.
Was it the third one?
No, I'm looking at completely the wrong thing.
I think it's number 2, I said, right?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at completely the wrong page. So
You had it in your hands.
It's here, it's here.
Yeah. I think it's 2.
2 is the one that's like, she'll hook me up.
No. Fuck. What was
Yeah.
the one where it's like, she...
Unparalleled joy if she's happy. I'm happy.
That one.
Yeah, that's 3. That's 3. Dessa smiles at you, and then Julian says, "Then let us all toast to friendship so strong that where sacrifice lays its weary head springs love and hope. To love and hope." After eating, Julian steps from the table and asks you for the privilege of the first dance. He pulls you close to him, and you both sweep the dance floor as all eyes are on you. You're so uncomfortable with Julian giving you attention, aren't you?
I crossed him off. The only person I crossed off before him was Otro. And it's sort of putting me... It's actually... No. I tell you what. The narrative is becoming of Opia, because what it's becoming is it's very quickly make the big move or make the emotive choice.
Yeah.
And I think that is the story of their like life so far, but like under a microscope. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just doing a quick total in case there's a private moment
Mid-dance.
on the books. Oh, I can forget about them because they've already tried and failed.
Dropping a cheeky. Do you want any tea in that, love? Lady Faye Ambassador? No, you're sweet enough already. Hey! What sugar? Opia doesn't sound like that. Opia has that. I'll tell you who Opia sounds like, and I'm about to like put myself on blast a little bit here. Opia sounds like me in that it's a learned pronunciation. Because I grew up speaking in a very common way, and then got rulers slapped at me in school.
Well, you've been, because you're a water. Then most even slightly water creatures have like an Irish accent. So
Yeah,
it would
I
be-
think
you
this
would have
is
scrubbed out
like
the Irish.
this is like grammar school English. rather than like it's like almost Queen's English, but not quite private school.
Okay, all right, interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, it is actually. It is actually. I'm going to just quickly... Just let me math for one
I'm
more
just going to talk. I think that's maybe why Afia's not drinking too much, because when I drink, my like the way I spoke from birth is kind of comes back at. It's not so like this sort of weird, like, chavvy. I'm from Chatham.
Okay. As the days pass, you are preparing feverishly with your mother.
I didn't have to roll to dance.
We're just about to do... No, you don't roll to dance, because that's not
God,
your roll.
I was preparing to fucking roll. I was like, oh, God.
No. As the days pass, you're preparing feverishly with your mother and Otome for the exhibition, which will take the form of a parade through the palace with decorated carts as floats, where you can display a talent for all to see. Your mother gives money to Otome to help them make your float as spectacular as possible. Now, the first roll is for family money.
Fucking let's go.
Making you stand out really well. But the main thing that you've got to do here is decide what your talent is. Depending on whether you like, because you can kind of, like people who have very high beauty might just do one of those like tableaus that you see in like Tipping the Velvet,
they're like it's like a still painting,
yes,
but like it's like them.
Yes. Or if you have very high wit, you might do stand-up comedy on a moving float.
So what's the deal about palace food?
Or
all those snow crabs and no snow. Where do they come from?
You, with your coordination, you might do like what's that? Was it Hilary Duff that had like the great like funny little dance moves? Like you're doing a little dance on a float.
Dance on a float. I think. Do you know what I think it is? It's some kind of gymnastics.
Yeah.
Like it's like rhythmless dance, or like it's less rhythm focused is what I mean. So like it's like an
interpretive dance.
No. It's just gymnastics.
Yeah.
So it's a feat of coordination, but it's like less about the.
Michelle's saying the river dance.
The river dance. What? As in.
I'm desperate for the toilet, so I'm going to go while you're developing what you're.
Do I need to roll for about money? Don't I?
Yeah, you roll about money and then think about your
6. It's a 9.
Top.
I've got money. Yeah, like I can't see chat. What's chat saying? Your float is just that thing that gymnasts just spin around on. What? What? A pommel horse? A pommel horse? It's just a trampette, and they're just doing like. The one you hold on to and flip upside down on as you go in a circle. Sweet, I did gymnastics for 3 years. I have no clue what you're talking about. The one you hold on to and flip upside down. Do you mean rings? Where you're like... Michelle, stop talking about Michael Flatley. Oh, no, I've got it. The bar on 2 metal bars you spin around on. You mean the bars? I think it's just called bars, where you have the one high and one low, and they like do all that stuff. I think it's just called bars. I'm doing a trampette routine. No, I pivoting ever so slightly. Pivot. I think I'm doing a dance, but I'm like covered in like loose chiffon.
Yeah.
Like ribbons and stuff. But like, not like I've got ribbons on sticks, like there's loads of it, so everything, it's like this like swirling mass almost, like
So it's almost like an art piece.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a dance piece, but like Opia is sometimes lost in it. Of all of the like multicolored ribbons. Think like a Broadway musical doing like Under the Sea. Like do you know what I mean? Lots of like sea colours.
It's a spectacular of which sometimes you like don't mind being kind
Lost
of mysterious.
in. Yeah.
Love that. All right, what did you roll?
I rolled a 9 on money. I rolled a 9. Well, I rolled a 6, and then I've got +3 to money. Hey Nick, happy St. Nicholas Day for yesterday.
Now, that requires coordination, so roll
Sure fucking does.
coordination. So, essentially, your float is spectacular. A mix of fashionable shades and tasteful props. You hug your mother and Otro for their help, roll a d6 and add either coordination, wit or beauty.
4 + 2. 6.
You are the toast of the exhibition. No one comes close to you in float appearance or talent. Your name is on everyone's lips for this day. Woo! Very good. What did you say? You got 6?
Yeah, 6 total.
Wow. There we go. Let me do a little bit more totting up.
Do some math. One day this will be a computer game or something, and then you don't have to, it's not powered by Lydia's brain. Lydia's brain on half a light gin.
Oh shit. Okay, we've got some private moments.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. This is where Opia fumbles the bag and accidentally does a fart in front of everyone.
My stack of private
It's
moments.
what ropers do. They fuck it up in the end.
It is late one night, and you cannot sleep. You sit in the window seat of your parlour, overlooking the lights of the city. You see a face at a window not far from yours, emerald eyes glittering in the moonlight. In a second, they are gone, and not long after, you hear someone enter your suite. Is everything okay? Can I bring you anything? It is Otro. You see the form of Otro, barefoot and quietly moving towards you. They are maskless for the first time, and you see their smooth skin as they stand by you. He about to get stabbed. I need for nothing, Otro, and I have you to thank for that, you reply softly. Don't forget, Otro just hooked you up with your float.
Yeah.
I've never seen your face before, and it does not surprise me that the Emperor wishes to hide such a face. You indicate for them to sit, and Otro moves to sit, and your shoulders brush in the movement. Otro freezes and steps back. I could not sit by your side. Do not ask this of me. There is a pause as you look into their face, and suddenly their face is so full of yearning. Response 1. Then leave me to my solitude. I did not ask you to torment me with your pretty face and half-nakedness. Response 2. You are right. I cannot afford a dalliance with a valet when I have everything to win. Response 3. I ask bravery of you, Otro. I crave your company this night. If you will not sit, then I will stand and show you that I can be brave. Or option 4. It matters little if we are seated or standing, Otro. Just stay a little while with me and share this cup of wine.
God, 1 and 2 feel mean. 1 definitely feels mean. What was 2 again?
2 is, you're right, I can't afford a dalliance with a valet when I have everything to win.
That's so arrogant. But it's the last day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 2. One feels like out and out. 1 feels like out and out mean. 2 feels like a poor choice of phrase when snapping out of the moment. If I'm trying to sit, because obviously, like, you know, there's a limited number of choices.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going for 2, and
Okay.
I'm justifying it as it's a poor choice of phrase when kind of like removing them like self from the like.
Yeah, you were
romance.
taken aback and you're like,
Yeah, no, you're right. I can't afford this. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, actually, that might have been a bit mean, but curt at least.
Otro replies with, I wish you every happiness in the marriage you find in this season. May it be long and loveless. When the sun rises, I will once again be a masked valet who will serve your every need. Good night.
Loveless. What a fucking prick. I've done nothing to lead this dick on. What rude bastard fucking comes into my room or after I've said, do you know what? I've barely said a fucking word to this bloke. I've barely said a word and he wants me to have a loveless marriage. I'm probably going to. If Opia gets their way, they're probably going to have a loveless marriage, but still, rude.
Okay.
Fuck. And chat likes this person.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
It is a warm afternoon, and you have come to your suite to change for dinner when a masked staff member enters and announces that the Emperor summons you to his parlour. It's not Otro.
It's not Otro again.
You quickly change and freshen up. The Emperor is summoning you. Sorry, we kind of skipped
No,
over that
I got
because
it.
we were
I got
scared.
it.
You quickly change and freshen up and walk through the long and winding corridors to the Imperial Wing and into a sprawling parlour bedecked in gold furniture and pale fluttering drapes and the sweet smell of fragrant tea. The Emperor reclines on a chaise longue, the red skin of his broad chest showing beneath a silk waistcoat. Jewels drip from his ears and horns, and he smiles with disarming warmth as you bow and approach. Welcome, Opia. Tea is poured, and you are gestured to sit on the seat next to him. Do you enjoy the season so far? And you reply with, yes, Your Grace. I do not take for granted the honour of being part of this game, but it truly is the thrill of a lifetime. I am glad. You need not be so formal just in this moment, though I desire to meet the real you. In truth, I do not love the courtly games as many might think I do. I'm drawn to honesty and would ask that of you now. Option 1. If you truly ask for honesty of me, then I would say that this tea is bitter. Option 2. Your Grace, to be plain, the thrill of the game is in my blood, and it is in the playing that I am here before you, that I've beaten my competitors to have a private meeting with the Emperor. This is my true self. Option 3. Then I will just be a water genasi sitting next to a man, drinking tea and speaking of things that we may have in common. I have often wondered if it is a lonely life. Even with the whole imperial family and court entourage, there must be so few people who might converse with you about simple things, my Emperor. Or finally, option 4, I'll happily drink tea with you and speak in whichever way is appropriate, my Emperor.
Can you say 1 again?
Yes. If you want me to be honest, this tea is bitter.
So, 4 is a hard no. 2 was the I've beaten all my fucking competitors. That one, right?
Yes, that's the ambitious one.
And then
3
3
is a long-winded way of saying
what, is your life lonely?
not. Yeah, kind of. 3 is always the compassionate one. So it's like I'm just a person, you're just a person. Let's find some common ground.
So I keep looking at my notes and just mentally taking into the fact that Dessa has by far and away the most words, and Julian still only has Emperor, 2 high status.
Yeah.
Um,
Although he has opened up to you and said, like, people think I like because I
yeah,
praise
but
this.
this is recent. I'm
Yeah.
just like, because I didn't even think that was a. Right, so it's either the bitter tea or the is it lonely.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either one or.
So you're either being kind of a bitch or
Yeah.
or compassionate. I mean, it's
Yeah, but this is the same emperor who was like, you don't want to sit next to me? Yes, let's go. I think it's 3. I don't think Opia would. God, like I think, yeah, it just is 3. I can't imagine Opia saying any of the others really. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I keep saying this a lot because I want to make sure that like it feels like a cohesive character.
Yeah. For this moment, please call me Julian. He leans forward to look into your eyes. I knew I could not be wrong in seeing a perceptive soul. And you spend half an hour happily talking and laughing with Julian until his advisor tells him he's late for a meeting. As you go to leave, he turns you to look at him, his amber eyes burning, and he strokes your cheek. Very successful encounter with Juliet.
Do you know what's really funny? So I picked Ofia's name before we'd even played the game, and to be fair, I picked it before I realised how much intense eye contact Opia was going to endure. So it's an incredibly fitting name.
Well, I mean, it's a palace season. It's all about the eye contact.
But so weirdly, I think Opia is just like inoffensive looking, but the eye contact thing is like enrapturing for people, which is that point in beauty. If that makes sense, they're not like a you know how some models have like almost like alien-esque features where they're just such, and we've spoke about like, you know, Asimars being these like ideal like perfection. Actually, you know who's a really good example of what I'm thinking of? The elves in Divinity Original Sin. You know how they're like really long and thin, have like really high and sharp cheekbones, and like I think by comparison Opia is quite plain, but it's the eye contact moment. It's that like
big almond eyes.
It's
really intense.
It's the shit. They saw something in me. They didn't, but because it's that really ambiguous. Is it scary? Is it like flirty? Like it's just
do they have a thyroid
ambiguous,
problem?
intense eye contact. Yeah. So that's where I'm like, this is where the like, point of beauty comes from, because like, yeah, there you go.
All right. Now we're into the most, some might say the most nerve-wracking part of the game, which is proposals week. You might get no proposals, which would be a fucking bummer. You might get a couple, in which case you have to think, do I turn this person down and risk not getting another proposal?
Do I risk fumbling the bag?
Let me do some adding.
There's a lot of math in this game, but
well,
not
there is for me because every time I make a little total, when I look back at it, I think that's another score, so then I get confused.
After this game, now I've played the game, can I make you a spreadsheet that does all of this for you?
That would be good, except that I think the only person that wants a second run at it is Michelle, so
I can make a... Yeah. You're also aware that this doesn't stop here, right? Like, there's so many people that would
But
want
then
to
it
play
kind
this
of
game.
needs to go into like it needs to actually be built as a computer game.
No, I mean, maybe one day, but like, I can make the spreadsheet to do the math part for people.
You know what? I'm gonna just quickly do this.
I'm a spreadsheet wizard. Or I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna learn to make games, and I'm just gonna make it as an Otome game. I'll do all the art, all the programming. I'll finish the writing for you. Like, we'll flesh it out into like an hours-long game, and then like, imagine. Lydia's got a calculator out.
Shh.
But I'll tell you what, though, this is a really good proof of concept for like an Otome computer game. Bear in mind, I've only played Hatterful Boyfriend, but like from my understanding, like it's a lot of fun. It's as fun, if not more fun, than trying to fuck a pigeon. So take that from you will. Hatterful Boyfriend is about fucking pigeons.
Oh right, okay.
It's a very fun game though. Oh fuck! You and Michelle should play it. Making a mental note in my charity stream, maybes. Hatterful Boyfriend. Or the help my boyfriend's a horse one. That'd be funny.
Nearly there, nearly there, nearly there. Do you want to run people through who you're like, what your hopes and dreams
I'll
are?
give you right. Otro, no, and he turned out to be a cunt, so that's fine. I imagine that interaction is very different in a more like romantically intense build-up, but without that build-up, he's just a fucking prick. Aeschylus Pine is my next immediate fucking no. There's no good vibes there. I think Opia would fuck Captain Toll, but not marry. So this is fuck, marry, kill, right? The game?
It fucking is not.
I think they're not anti the Fae Ambassador, but I also think they fucked that bag. So that's fuck that bag is not the sentence. It's fumbled that bag. So so here's my least to best order so far. Otro is worst, then Pine, then Captain Toll, then Lady Morlowen, then barely above is Niky, but I think it's mostly just a mystery and the princess, and maybe that sandy snake girl is thirsty. And then I think, let's be honest, I've set myself up for like a proper romance book choice between the childhood best friend who knows them inside and out, potentially would make them a better person, and maybe the Emperor. Like, they're the most viable currently, unless Niky fucking some of these guys.
I need to just double check one quick thing. I need to go back and check because the it's confusing me. Something's confusing me. I just need to double check something. I knew you'd break my game somehow.
Maybe we're not going to make it to a game because I fucked it. Does that make sense, chat? Chat, are you with me? Does that all thought press make sense for Opia? Do we like Opia? Are they a bastard?
Yeah, it makes total sense. It actually does make total sense. Okay, right. Proposals. Wait, where are the proposals? There. Okay. In your time at the palace, you have made a habit of walking the veranda each morning with your friend Dessa to discuss the day before and share knowledge and gossip. Today is no different. You speak of people who have already had proposals and made marriage agreements, but the conversation seems pregnant with nerves this morning. My friend, I can go no further without speaking of what flows between us. It is the great invisible beast that growls at me to stop avoiding the truth and be brave, to ask you an important question. We have known each other our whole lives, and our friendship has flowed and ebbed in many forms. We have played and fought and kissed and cried and shared everything, held back so little. Now I find I cannot love another. I cannot make a future without you. If you do not return my feelings, I will take up another offer, but my heart will always belong to you. Option 1. I was so afraid that you would have your head turned by another. You have glittered so brightly this season and scarcely dared to hope I feel the same. Would you marry Dessa? Or option 2, my sweet Dessa, though I love you and always will, it is not a love of equal weight. Accept another and let us be friends. This is your best friend.
Look at that difference.
Yeah.
I know it's not a lot of notes.
Yeah.
But
Dessa has a big estate.
That's honestly not a factor.
Dessa is already kind of part of the family and lost theirs. Now you can always do, what Sweet did, which is accept them and then break their heart if you get another proposal. But that's a cruel thing to do to your Bezzy mate. Tom, I'm really sorry. I have your sheet still, but I left it at home, not wanting to be have loads of stuff. But I should have done a compare and contrast. When I get home, I'll do a compare and contrast. Yeah.
Look. I think Opia has learned one thing throughout this month or so of doing this. Is their grandparents gambled and their father gambled, and both times they won, but that victory was short-lived. And now they're in the position that their father was in and is having to gamble to make something. And maybe this is a little bit led by Niky's breaking the cycle, desperate desires. But I think option one's the yes.
Option one is yes. Option two is no. Let's just be friends.
I think the Roper family need to stop gambling and taking these big swings.
Okay.
And I think Opia needs to say yes and take a chance on someone that could make them better.
Okay. So you say, I was so afraid that you would have your head turned by another. You have glittered so brightly this season, and I scarcely dared to hope. I feel the same. And you marry Dessa. You tell your mother, who is happy for you, Dessa has considerable wealth and they already feel like part of the family. You marry. Now, before the very, very end of that palace week, you are woken in the night by a masked staff member.
Otome needs to fucking back off, dude. Jesus.
You have been summoned to the Emperor's side. You rise and wrap yourself in a robe and pad behind them across the palace. You are shown into the parlour, this time lit only with candlelight. In the window, silhouetted by the moonlight, is the Emperor, a towering being. You step towards him and he turns to look at you. You came. You reply with, how could I refuse, Your Grace? Please, Julian. I must confess to you that since our last meeting, I have thought of nothing but your laughter and your soft skin. He takes your hand and presses it to his cheek. There is warmth there, and so much longing in his powerful eyes. You say it can be, He says, it can be no easy life, that of the spouse to the Emperor. Your life will be full of royal obligation and stolen moments with your husband. But I wonder if you have thought of it, dreamt of such a life. Earlier, I woke from a dream that you loved me, and I could wait no longer to know if you could marry me. Option 1, I have dreamed of such a life. I have dreamed of your touch. I love you as an emperor and as a man, and I believe I could make you proud as an imperial spouse. Or option 2, my emperor, you do me the highest honour, but I cannot accept. Forgive me. I would make a very poor imperial spouse. You're the first one to be proposed to by the Emperor. Sorry, mate, not my scene.
What?
It's just Rooney.
Oh. I'll tell you what. For old time's sake, let's fumble the bag one last time. Say no.
My emperor, you do me the highest honour, but I cannot accept. Forgive me. I would make a very poor imperial spouse. You bow, and though he seems disappointed, he returns the bow and shows you every respect as you are taken back to your quarters and shot with a gun.
First gun in the campaign. Cannon.
No. Very respectful. So you marry Dessa.
Yeah. Break the cycle, right?
Break the cycle.
Be better.
Still no job. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Like you and Dessa you're going to forge your new lives and you've got to find purpose together. I like that for you guys.
Yeah.
The wild, marking, you're the person who liked you the most was the Emperor. Like, your score with Dessa was actually 62, so you just scraped in with Dessa, weirdly. But the Emperor, you got 82, and you needed 80 to get a proposal, because the threshold is much higher with the Emperor, of course.
I mean, that makes sense.
You got really, really high with Captain Toll, but Captain Toll was obviously not going to propose to you after you said no. And your lowest two in the end was Aeschylus Pine, who just fucking was not into what you were selling.
I think it was a mutual, this is not a thing.
But it's funny because Aeschylus Pine loves people that are very bitchy. So, and you would never, you'd have to pick the first response, the one that was always like, this tea is bitter, or like, whatever. Like,
do you know what? It genuinely wasn't until you said that 3 is the more compassionate one.
Yeah.
I'd not picked up on that pattern at all.
Yeah.
Which is a trope of these sorts of games, right?
It's I don't shuffle them around, but number 1 is always bitchy, number 2 is always ambitious, number 3 is always compassionate, and number 4 is always very carefree. The woohoo girl that everybody picks up on. Aeschylus Pine, you got so many minuses that you kind of barely even got a positive on his, and actually, in the end, Lady Morluan. Because you had a really good score with her, but then you got like a whole bunch of -10s in a row.
Because I was like, right, sweetheart.
Well, it was that her, like, what was that you were doing? I think it was the big
gesture of friendship.
Compassionate stuff. She hates that. So whenever you're like, you must be homesick, like that's where I think Tom went wrong with her. It was like, are you homesick? And she was like, don't fucking talk to me about my feelings. I'm a fae. She likes ambitious and carefree people. And Otro was actually...
His bar is so fucking low.
Yeah.
Otro, get some fucking self-respect. Jesus fucking... What does it take to get the, like, let's fuck in the dark from him while I've got no shoes on? Not to pull the curtain back too far.
Well... It honestly kind of depends on how well you're doing. But if you get around 35, you get the private moment. And you got that right towards the end with him. That's why, like Michelle played, you could tell that both...
So I got it because I'm fit, not because we had a good connection.
Pretty much.
Because it was off all the like, I did a dancing and...
because actually all the times... that you rolled a dice, you can't get you can get -1, I guess, but you get lots of positives when you're doing those big things that everybody
and because
can see.
I rolled really well at the things I'm good at.
Yeah, but the interactions with people when you're actually speaking is when you can get those -10s or +10s. So they rock the boat loads. One of these days, someone's going to marry Aeschylus Pine. Like, that guy's a problematic bastard, but I love him.
I think... if he had something other to him than being an actor, which Opia didn't try to find out, then maybe, but like, I actually just... Aeschylus Pine and Niky would have seen through Ophia's shit immediately.
Yeah.
And I honestly, part of it was that Opia didn't want to match wits with either of them, because they would immediately lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've got to stop saying that.
Does that make sense? Yeah. But you play very differently to the other two. That was really interesting. And yeah, that's the chart that you can see it. The chart that you kind of go through that makes it all make sense. So yeah. Princess Niky was like middle of the road. She was 32 in the end. You nearly got a private moment with her, but not quite because
it made sense. All they had was intense eye contact. That was the only thing that had in common.
And it was actually that you did a lot of like compassionate answers when you were on the ride.
Yeah.
That was a -5 for
Too
her.
humble.
Yeah, she likes somebody who's witty and like quick.
Which I'm fucking not.
I love that idea. Next character game, Divisia Otome with finding a prom date. Yes.
Yeah, I tell you what, Liz, just write a whole another one of these.
I can do that.
Oh, that was a joke.
I enjoyed writing this, and it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Okay, but I will say this.
You know what I might do, just so that it's different, so that people are discovering it for the first time. I might set it in Kalak Yolas rather than in Divisia Census because, like pre.
Everyone's well sad, yeah.
Yeah, pre everyone being real sad.
Depression, the Otome. That was really, really fun, Lydia. I really enjoyed it. What I really liked about that was I'm always a big fan of getting to make obviously detrimental in character decisions.
Yeah.
It's my favourite thing.
Yeah.
And I got to do a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like making my first instinct on all of those answers were usually the ones I went with.
Yeah, and
because I was sitting there from Athea's point of view.
What's interesting is you made very in-character choices and you didn't try and game the system, but a lot of people when they play this, they're like, ooh, I can tell that means that they like this, so I should, like, most people go, I need all the options I can possibly get, so this is going to be smooch central, I'm going to smooch everybody, I'm going to try and get as many options as possible, whereas you were like, actually, I don't want you. We've never had anybody shut anyone down ever, and you shut a few people down, so that is like a very different way. Look at me, yeah, exactly. Sweet, you were a pro. You told the Emperor no, but it wasn't a shutdown. Like, a shutdown is before they can even have the private moment, you go, no, thank you. That's what I mean by that.
Hi, Michael. I'm glad you're able to make the stream. Michael is one of the few people that have commented on our YouTube channel.
Oh, hi, Michael.
It's so good having you in the
YouTube
Discord
people.
and at stream. This will go up on YouTube. We'll pop it up on YouTube.
YouTube. That's your points.
It's my report card.
It's your report card.
Oh, this means nothing to me.
I'm gonna take it back, and then I'm gonna post pictures in the Discord with a comparing. I don't have Michelle's one because she took that because she wanted to study it. But I'm gonna do a comparative contrast with Tom.
But
thanks for coming, guys.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for coming in the chat. I hope you enjoyed it. I like doing this stuff. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Next week, it's probably going to be me and Michelle playing a PC game of some description, like something fun, something chill. Like it's just going to be fun vibes.
You and I should play Civ sometime, shouldn't we?
Oh, we could do a fun Civ thing. Week after, I'm going to be DMing, stands for Dad Master, a game of Yule Dads. That's my trademark in all of my games, right? It's all DM or GM, and it means something different.
Yeah.
In I think Yule Dads it's Dad Master. In Goblins it's Goblin Master, and I think it's Garbage Master in Scrabble Wizards. I think. That's my thing. But yeah, so Tom's gonna play. Chris from Some of the Heroes is gonna play, and Josh, who is returning back from his travels and is going to be on stream. And I've requested maximum dad vibes and, if possible, a little bit of booze.
Yeah.
For just like pure chaos. And I've been rereading the game and I remembered you can get caffeine shits.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Do you know what's really fucking messed up? In the actual original intro of the game, it says it's the 21st of December.
And it's going to
be the 21st of December. It also says 2019, but we can ignore that.
Imagine if it was 2019, pre the lurg.
Pre-Pandy. We're all in weird places. But yeah, like, we're going to, have a little bit of booze, be all dadded up, and we're going to... chat's going to be shouting at everyone for going to the wrong shop, looking for a winter hat.
I just remember how stressed I got at that game.
It weirdly did a very good job of giving you a flavour of the stress of doing all of your shopping 3 days before Christmas.
Yeah, I could never be that person. I've never been that person in my life.
No, absolutely not. I'm not that person. It's funny to me.
I've already done all my Christmas shopping. Before the 1st of December came round.
I don't celebrate Christmas, so get fucked.
Well, all my family died this year, so I've only got one person to buy for.
Fucking hell.
And on that note,
on that fucking note, Jesus.
Merry tidings.
Bye.